Okay. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudire Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavate Uttama Bhaktir Bhavati Naistaki Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langayate Girim Yat Kripa Tamaham Vande Shri Guru Dinatarinam Chaitanyam Ishwaram Om Ajnanatirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurum Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharini Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarini Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna. So, welcome you all for Bhagavatam discussion. So, we are going to discuss Canto 1, Chapter 15, text 39, no, right, today?
41.
41.
42, Prabhuji. 42.
Oh, sorry. The light alone, sorry. Oh, sorry. Okay, sorry. ಯಾರು ಓದ್ತೀರಾ?
It's allocated to me, Prabhuji. Hare
Yes.
Krishna.
Yeah, Mataji, please.
Canto 1, Chapter 15, Text 42. Tritve hutva cha panchatvam tatcha ekatve juhot munihi sarvam atmani ajuhavit brahmani atmanam avyaye. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Prabhupada ki jai.
Thus annihilating the gross body of 5 elements into the 3 qualitative modes of material nature, he merged them in one nescience and then absorbed that nescience in the self Brahman, which is inexhaustible in all circumstances. All that is purport, all that is manifested in the material world is the product of the Mahat Tattva, Avyakta, and things that are visible in our material vision are nothing but combinations and permutations of such variegated material products. But the living entity is different from such material products. It is due to the living entity's forgetfulness of his eternal nature as eternal servitor of the Lord and his false conception of being a so-called Lord of the material nature that he is obliged to enter into the existence of false sense enjoyment. Thus, a concomitant generation of material energies is the principal cause of the mind's being materially affected. That thus, the gross body of 5 elements is produced. Maharaja Yudhishthira reversed the action and merged the 5 elements of the body in the 3 modes of material nature. The qualitative distinction of the body as being good, bad, or mediocre is extinguished, and again, the qualitative manifestations become merged in the material energy, which is produced from a false sense of the pure living being. When one is thus inclined to become an associate of the Supreme Lord, the personality of Godhead, in one of the innumerable planets of the spiritual sky, especially in Goloka Vrindavana, one has to think always that he is different from the material energy. He has nothing to do with it, and he has to realize himself as pure spirit, Brahman, qualitatively equal with the Supreme Brahman, Parameshwara. Maharaja Yudhishthira, after distributing his kingdom to Parikshita and Vajra, did not think himself emperor of the world or head of the Kuru dynasty. This sense of freedom from material relations as well as freedom from the material engagement of the gross and subtle encirclement makes one free to act as the servitor of the Lord. Even though one is in the material world, this stage is called the Jivan Mukta stage, or the liberated stage, even in the material world. That is the process of ending material existence. One must not only think that he is Brahman, but must act like Brahman. One who is only thinks himself Brahman is an impersonalist, and one who acts like Brahman is the pure devotee. Hare Krishna.
Hare
Prabhupada.
Krishna. Shri Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai.
So further, Yudhishthira Maharaj leaving the body says, thus annihilating the gross body of five elements. Our body is made of Panchabhuta. There is generally the two bodies, gross and subtle bodies. So the gross body is made of Panchabhuta, earth, water, air, and ether. And there is a subtle body, mind, intelligence, false ego, which cannot be seen. But this gross body is what we can see outside. And there are three qualities: mode of goodness, mode of fashion, and mode of ignorance. And thus merge them in the nescience, then absorb that nescience in the self, which is Brahman, which is inexhaustible in all circumstances. So Prabhupada in the translation also, he says Brahman is inexhaustible. Brahman is beyond any limitations. So Prabhupada in the purport says, the first line itself says that all that manifested in this material world is product of Mahatattva, the Avyakta. So generally Mahatattva is a product of, there are sense objects, and there's five, the Panchabhutas, and mind, intelligence, false ego. So, and the Jnanendriyas. So like that, there are 23 elements plus, so like that's 24 elements. They together is called Mahatattva. So Prabhupada says that, but the living entity is different from such material products. The material products are generally, all these Panchabhutas are material, whereas Jiva is a spiritual. So, but because of Jiva is contaminated by this material energy, they are called marginal energy. They are not, they are pure when they were with the Krishna, but when they come down to the material world, they become contaminated. So Prabhupada says that the committed generation of material energies is a principal cause of minds being materially affected. So the concomitant, the generation of material energies, which is a cause for our minds being affected by the material things. Prabhupada also says that that material energy which is produced from the false sense of pure living entity. The living entity is pure, but because of the false sense, because this jiva thinks that I'm the body, even though this jiva is not body, he thinks that I'm this body because I'm here in this body today. I think everything in this body and everything in and around the body is the only, I perceive that is everything belongs to me and I want to enjoy. So everything connected to the body, whether it's my body or my relatives, my property, everything is connected to this body. That is a false sense of, that is because of that, that soul is suffering in this body. Prabhupada also talks about the pure spirit, Brahman, qualitatively equal with the supreme Brahman. So it talks about Parameshwara, Maharaj Yudhishthira, after distributing his kingdom to Parishit and Vajranabha. So Parishit Maharaj is grandson of Yudhishthira Maharaj. Vajranabha is a grandson of Krishna. So Yudhishthira has distributed this the kingdom to them, and then he left. So we are talking about the qualitatively one, or the nature of this soul. So we have the qualities of Krishna in all, but not in a quantity. We may have all the Shadaishwaryas of Krishna, like knowledge or wealth or renunciation or Saundarya, all these things, but not in quantity. We may have very, very little, minute, whereas Krishna is 100%. So that's why, Jiva is generally considered equal to Krishna in that perspective, but not in a quantity. So here talks about the Jiva which are completely not connected to the material is called Jivan Mukta stage. Prabhupada says that the freedom from the material engagement of the gross and subtle encirclement makes one with the free from the act of servitor and of the Lord, even though one is material world. This stage is called Jivan Mukta. Jivan Mukta means the Jiva, which is not bothered about this material, the connections, and it's only the kind of a desire to serve Krishna. That is called Jivan Mukta. The opposite is, what is the opposite of Jivan Mukta? The eternally conditioned and eternally liberated.
Nityabadha, Prabhu.
Nityabadha, correct. Yeah, sorry.
Nityabadha, Nityamukta.
Correct. Jivan Mukta, Nityabadha. So eternally conditioned is Nityabadha, eternally or the liberated is Jivan Mukta. So Prabhupada finally says, one who only thinks himself as a Brahman is an impersonalist, and one who acts like a Brahman is a pure devotee. So we have to act. Prabhupada brings that word. Act means you have to serve. I just not imagine and just think about and do bhakti. No, bhakti means we have to act. Devotional service is service. It's not just speaking or just a word. It's a service. So that's why Vishnu Chakravarti also talks about that. Okay, it talks about the 5 elements, things like that. Yeah, we'll go on to the next block. Next one, who's going to read?
Hare Krishna.
Okay.
Prabhuji, I am allocated.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Chira, Canto 1, Chapter 15, Text 43. Chiravasa Nirahara Patta Van Mukta Murdaja Tarsayan Atmano Rupam Jadon Matta Pichachavat Anaveshamana Niragat Asrunvan Patiro Yata. Translation purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai.
Translation. After that, Maharaja Yudhishthira dressed himself in torn clothing, gave up eating all solid foods, voluntarily became dumb, and let his hair hang loose. All this combined to make him look like an urchin or madman with no occupation. He did not depend on his brothers for anything, and just like a deaf man, he heard nothing. Purport. Thus, being freed from all external affairs, he had nothing to do with imperial life or family prestige, and for all practical purposes, he posed himself exactly like an inert mad urchin and did not speak of material affairs. He had no dependence on his brothers, who had all along been helping him. This stage of complete independence from everything is also called the purified stage of fearlessness. Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna. So
Srila Prabhupada ji.
Papa, it shows how an renunciant should behave. Sometime we may say that, is it dress makes sense or dress is important? The devotee should dress like what? Here, Yudhishthira Maharaj showing that even the dress or the way of life, everything makes the difference, because the dress impacts on a consciousness. We see, right, those who work in a corporate, we see that when we dress in a particular sense, we develop the mode of passion. When we dress in a very sattvic mode, generally the mode of goodness comes. Here also, Yudhishthira Maharaj gave up and he wore a torn dress and is fully independent, not dependent on anyone for that matter. Dependent on his brothers or anything. So he's fully dependent on Krishna. Actually, fully dependent on Krishna is a real independent. But other way around, what I do, I'm depending on so many other things, but not Krishna. I want my wealth, my positions, my supporters, my people, my family. I think that they are my savior. They can help me. My bank balance can help me. My income can help me. My people can help me. But no, I don't have dependence on Krishna, but instead of I have dependence on all others. But here Yudhishthira Maharaj is teaching that none others can help except Krishna. So he was not depending on his brothers also, even though they are pure devotees. So he was real fearlessness. So that fearlessness for us given by Prabhupada. A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. A.C. Abhaya Charana Ravinda. He is that Abhaya Charana Ravinda. Where is no Bhaya. He is Abhaya. His lotus feet is the Abhaya, the fearlessness. If we surrender to Srila Prabhupada's lotus feet, we have no fear at all. We can fully free from any kind of fears. That is Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. So we have to develop that kind of attitude so that when we surrender to Srila Prabhupada, all the problems can be solved. That means that our material things, everything will go away. No, we may have problems, but our consciousness, our strength to withstand such problems will increase, and we'll know exactly why this is happening. Yes, this is because of my karma. I'm the person responsible for whatever I'm suffering today. Instead of blaming everybody else, generally what happens, any situation, I find a fault on others except me. I'm always right. Everybody else is wrong. That is my attitude. But it should be other way around. Acharya say that I should be strict on me. I should be liberal on others. So that should be the mood. But generally, it happens opposite. So he behaved like a madman with no occupation. We could see this, in Sukdev Goswami's pastime also. Sukdev Goswami, after his appearance, the 16 years old boy started walking in the streets, the villages, like a madman. Of course, he had no dress also. Sukdev Goswami has no dress, fully naked. The street boys were throwing stone at him. They're throwing all the mud at him. But he was not bothered because he's fully transcendental. He's beyond the material things. So sometimes we should also be careful. Some sannyasis not dressed properly. We should not misunderstand them. We don't know what the level they are into. Should be very, very careful dealing with the such great personalities. Now, the lesson for us that the dress here talks about how he gave up the dress. So we as a practice devotees also, we should dress for the occasion. At least coming to temple Sundays, we should wear Vaishnava dress, not pant shirt or things. We should go for Vaishnava dress. See the change in the consciousness. See our complete behavior changes. So all should try. No, of course, Matajis can go for saris if possible. At least men should go for dhoti kurta. It is easy, not difficult. Nowadays, ready-made dhoti is also available, which you don't have to tie. And if you want to tie also, doesn't take more than 2 minutes. It's easy, so easy. Anybody wants to teach, want to learn, we can teach. But my humble request that at least coming to Sunday, please, come with the dhoti kurta and tilak, kantimala. See the change, because Prabhupada says that the devotee behaves such a way that seeing a devotee, others should remember Krishna. The tilak, which remembers Vishnu's or Krishna's lotus feet. Kantimala, that remembers Tulasi. So that's how the kind of devotee should dress. My humble request to all the devotees, those who are coming on Sunday, please, possible, come in the dhoti kurta. Mataji is possible, please come in sari with the tilak and kantimala. And that atmosphere will bring a lot of change. Just about the dress, I'll tell one story. There was a king. The king had a very peculiar disease. Disease means he had a loose motion disease. It means every 5 minutes he has to run for washroom, toilet. So he could not do any of his duties because it was so bad. He consulted so many Vaidyas, doctors, nobody could give the treatment. Finally, one minister gave an idea or give a treatment that he told the king that in the forest there is one kind of a bird. So the king has to go to the forest, catch that bird, and kill that bird and make a soup and drink that soup. So it'll cure. That's what the minister said. So king went to the forest. Which bird he can, that too, he said, you cannot employ anyone else. He has to go himself. So he went to the forest. The bird, how will you catch? And he cannot put net or anything or arrow or nothing. You have to catch physically in the hand. So he cannot put a net or throw arrow. No. So which bird will stay? If you go near that, they'll fly away. So he tried so many days, he could not. Then he came back to the minister and said that, my dear minister, how can we, catch the bird which is flying? Then minister gave an idea. He said, my dear king, you give up your king dress. You put your throat, your crown down, remove all your valuables down, put a normal Vaishnava dress, dhoti, kurta, tilak, then go. So king changed everything, put simple Vaishnava dress. Now those birds which were flying, they start coming and sitting on his shoulder and his head. Now king was shocked. Their birds are coming and sitting on my body. How can I catch them? They come to me, now I cannot kill them. King came back and told the minister, sorry, I can't do this because those poor birds, because when looking at the Vaishnava dress, birds also know that Vaishnava will not harm me. See the consciousness of birds. Because he is Vaishnava, he will not kill me, he will not harm me. This is the consciousness of the birds also. The birds start coming and sitting on his body. So that's how, of course, later this is been cured. But point is that the dress makes a difference. Here also, Yudhishthira Maharaj, when he want to renounce everything, he renounced everything, including his dress. So that's a good point we should understand. We as a practice devotees try our best to practice dress, wherever best possible. At least coming to temple. Yes. Okay, one more, 44, please.
Hare Krishna. I will read, Prabhuji.
Yes, Mataji.
Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Canto 1, Chapter 15, Text 44. Udicim praviveshasham gata purvam mahatmabhihi hridi brahma param dhyayan navarteta yato gataha. Translation, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. He then started towards the north, treading the path accepted by his forefathers and great men, to devote himself completely to the thought of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And he lived in that way wherever he went. Purport. It is understood from this verse that Maharaja Yudhishthira followed in the footsteps of his forefathers and the great devotees of the Lord. We have discussed many times before that the system of Varnashrama Dharma, as it was strictly followed by the inhabitants of the world, specifically by those who inhabited the Aryavarta province of the world, emphasizes the importance of leaving all household connections at a certain stage of life. The training and education was so imparted, and thus a respectable person like Maharaja Yudhishthira had to leave all family connection for self-realization and going back to Godhead. No king or respectable gentleman would continue family life till the end because that was considered suicidal and against the interest of the perfection of human life. In order to be free from all family encumbrances and devote oneself 100% in the devotional service of Lord Krishna, this system is always recommended for everyone because it is the path of authority. The Lord instructs in the Bhagavad Gita 18.62 that one must become a devotee of the Lord at least at the last stage of one's life. A sincere soul of the Lord, like Maharaja Yudhishthira, must abide by this instruction of the Lord for his own interest. The specific words Brahma Param indicate Lord Sri Krishna. This is corroborated in the Bhagavad Gita 10.13 by Arjuna with reference to great authorities like Asita, Devala, Narada, and Vyasa. Thus, Maharaja Yudhishthira, while leaving home for the north, constantly remembered Lord Sri Krishna within himself, following in the footsteps of his forefathers as well as the great devotees of all times. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Yeah.
So further, how Yudhishthira Maharaj left. So he started going towards the north and accepted the path of forefathers, because his forefathers were also the great devotees and completely thought of Supreme Personality Godhead. And this is the thought process at the end of life. Antakalecha mame kasman mukto kalevaram. So we should smaran, we should do the remembering of the Krishna at the time of death. But can I wait for the time of death? Okay, after 60 years, 70 years, I'll remember. No, because I don't have guarantee that I'll live for 70 years, first of all. And even then, what guarantee that I'll remember Krishna at that time? Unless I practice nicely. That's why Prabhupada says that throughout life, now, the day one, you have to start practicing. That practice, you may, Krishna's mercy, we may remember him, Krishna. Remember him at the time of leaving the body. So Prabhupada says that importance of living the household connection at a certain stage of life. Everybody has to give up and dedicate certain time of human life for Krishna consciousness. So can we wait for that 60 years to come? We may not. So first, when we are doing the Grahastha life itself, we have to plan for it. We should work for it. We discussed detailed last few days. At the same time, we should have a clear consciousness that my end, it should be in completely dedicated to Krishna. So that's the mood in which I should work. So Prabhupada also says, no king or respectable gentleman. So we are not kings, but at least we can put ourselves in the category of a respectable gentleman or lady, would continue in the family life until the end, because that is considered to be suicidal against the interest of perfection of human life. So, Prabhupada says, don't like dogs and the hawks. The dogs or hawks. Don't die like that. Die like a pure devotee. Means go back home, back to Godhead. So that is the real success of human life. Otherwise, you will have to take birth again. Prabhupada says that a devotee devote oneself 100%. There is no concession, 100% for the devotion service. So some may ask, how is that possible? Can I do it, give up? Then what do I do my Grahastha life? It's okay. So start with that now. Whatever percentage, 10%, 20%, 30%, keep increasing. And at the same time, the whatever material work we are doing it, engage that in Krishna conscious activity. So their percentage keep increasing. For example, we have house. Yes, have program in the house. Now Kokila Mataji is saying that, okay, have some program weekend. So like that, we can arrange some program so that your house, what you invested, becomes Krishnaized. Cook some prasadam for the devotees. Then that is also Krishnaized. And if you have a vehicle, use that for transporting devotees or sannyasis who come to the temple. And so many ways. Or if you have a good salary, give some donation to the temple. Whatever possible, engage it in Krishna service. And over a period of day by day, I should increase the percentage towards service to Krishna. And finally, I should reach 100%, 100%. So that's what Prabhupada finally says, constantly remember Lord Krishna within himself. That's Yudhishthira. So we have to constantly remember Krishna and no forget Krishna. Always remember Krishna, never forget Krishna. So this is the mood in which we practice devotee should do it life, so that at end, right time, Krishna will take us back. Krishna gives a guarantee. Tesha satatayuktanam bhajatam priti purakam dadami buddhi hogam tam. He says, I'll give the intelligence, but provided you serve me with the pure devotional service, with the prema, with the pure devotee. Okay, we'll stop here. Devotees can share their comments or questions, if any. Want to start from the other side, maybe. Varsha Mataji, want to start?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, thank you for the class. So, I mean, a lot of things were there about Yudhishthira Maharaj, but my takeaway for today's class is like, I should not wait for 70 years or 60 years to get into Krishna service. I should get it earlier only. And I
No.
should not, yeah, no. And one more thing is nobody will help, like bank balance, anybody will not help. Only depending on Krishna would help. How, like, I mean, these all, whatever Yudhishthira Maharaj did is an example that we should start earlier and uh, devote ourselves to the Krishna service. That's all we can do, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Thank you. Uma Shankar Prabhu. You're there?
Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji. Yeah.
Hare Krishna. So the should, as far as possible, we should be following the principles and also have the connect with the devotees. And next is Prabhuji, this one paragraph to recollect it on. That's it, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Okay. Sumit Prabhu.
Yeah, Prabhuji.
Please.
So in the 42nd shloka, the main point is like we should not just think like a Brahman, but we should act like a Brahman as well. So as in the verse said, Brahma Bhuta Prasannatma, na shochite na kankshati, sama sarveshu bhuteshu, mat bhakti labte param. So in that, if somebody is attain that stage, then he's not lamenting and he's not hankering for something, and he is treating everybody as equal, and he's free from designations. So he, like Maharaj is at this stage, he's not thinking like I'm an emperor or I am such a great warrior or anything like that, but he is on the Brahman platform at a spirit soul platform, and he is thinking about the devotional services. So act like a Brahman means to live in detachment from the material body and the ego, to serve the Lord in love and devotion, and to act in the world but not for the world, like for serving a divine purpose rather than self-centered goals. So this is the what we call the Jivan Mukta stage, liberation while we are still alive in the material world. And for the next shloka, so he Yudhishthira Maharaj posed himself like inert person, but it is not that he become literally mad or inert, but rather than he has abandoned all external concern of how society is viewing him. He's not concerned with the material things, material prestige, etiquettes, honor, and even familial roles. So in the eyes of the world, such a person may be appearing as crazy or mad person, but in truth, it is a sign of the highest wisdom. Yeah, Prabhu, and for the last shloka, so here, this verse, it's like how the spiritual evolution are embedded in the one ashram dharma. So we can see like we have he followed in the footstep of his forefathers and great devotees of the Lord. So he doesn't take that decision out of some emotional decision or a spontaneous decision. It was the path which the forefathers have took, and same thing he has done. So as per the varnashram dharma, at the later stage of your life, you should follow the vanprastha and then the sannyasa. So he entered the vanprastha and eventually sannyasa after completing his duties. So he doesn't cling to any power any comfort or emotional ties, but move forward for the sake of spiritual advancement, Prabhu. Yeah, that's it
Thank
from
you,
my side.
Prabhu. Thank you. Mariappan Prabhu, anything?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
As far as text 42 concerned, Mahatattva and Jivan Mukta, we must read again and again and for a better understanding, Prabhuji. And 43 text, Yudhishthira displaces the dressing code and external physical appearance of soul completely independent from everything, is also called the purified stage of fearlessness. Vaishnava dress introduce the changes within devotees, the required qualities of Krishna consciousness, and one must start practicing Krishna consciousness as early as possible and engage all available resources in devotional services and die like a pure devotee, 100%. That much I have understood, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you. Murali Prabhu, want to say anything? Lakshmi Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. In the text 43, these two are very nice. We can follow this, Prabhuji. Maharaja Yudhishthira voluntarily became dumb, and like a deaf man, he heard nothing. Like this, if we should not talk anything unnecessarily, and if we talk, it should be only about Krishna. And
Yeah.
then we should hear only the glories of the God. These two we can follow, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Bhaskar Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
What I have learned is that only pure soul can go back to Godhead. So to purify our soul, we have to do transcendental service, and mind is the one which will allow us. Like mind is the not which will allow us. Like mind is the things which we use. So if mind is engaged in transcendental service, then it will get purified, and when it get purified, then there is no chance of getting human form next life, because it is fully absorbed in Krishna. So that somehow we should practice to get involved in our mind in Krishna. So that's why I think chanting is required, because when we chant, we will our mind will be in Krishna, and if we think about him, we sometimes, if we like, they say, many people say that we have to, his form we have to meditate, but while meditating we may get sleep or something. That's why best way is chanting, which engage all four senses, actually, the tongue, mind also, of course, and then this ear, tongue, everything.
And skin.
We can see from eye the form of God, and four senses will be used. So that is the best medicine, I think, to engage our mind in Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Archana Mataji, want to say anything? No? Asha Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. As
Hare
Mariappan
Krishna.
Prabhuji said, text I have to read again and again because it's not that easy. But my takeaway for today is I should start practicing to remember Krishna at the time of death. That's very, very dear to me, Prabhuji. And we always keep telling that ISKCON teaches us not how to, it doesn't teach the art of living, but it teaches the art of living. And I should always remember the Supreme and never forget him. And I also understood when you're telling how dress impact our consciousness. Yes, that is true as well. Because it has a lot of impact when maybe that's also like when we think that when if I am wearing kantimala, or if I am wearing that tilak or whatever it is, even if we are tend to do something wrong, that will stop us actually. Okay, I'm not supposed to do this because I'm practicing this. I think so that way it helps, is what I feel.
Thank you, Prabhu.
That's what my takeaway, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Okay, we'll end here. Vancha kalpatarubhyasya kripa sindhubhyo patitana pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namah. Ananta koti Vaishnava vrinda ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Grantha Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Samaveta Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. See you on Monday. Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, one question,
Krishna.
Prabhuji.
Mataji.
This is not regarding Bhagavad Gita or Bhagavatam.
Yeah,
One of the Matajis, we used to always see her in Bhagavatam class, but nowadays I'm not seeing her. That Sri Devi Mataji, Prabhuji.
Okay. Her son is getting married.
Oh,
17,
okay.
18 is her son's marriage.
Okay.
Maybe she has gone to the village.
I never, I did not dare to message her. I thought I will ask you.
You can message her. She will invite you
Okay.
for marriage.
Okay,
Vizag,
Prabhuji.
I'm planning to
I
go.
was little because she used to be almost every
Correct.
day. We
Yeah,
used to see
yeah,
her. We were
yeah.
not seeing her.
And
Thank
her
you,
son,
Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
we were close in Abu Dhabi together. The
Oh,
Narayan
okay.
is getting married on
Okay.
17, 18 or 18, 19. I'm planning to travel on 17th evening, 16th evening.
Okay. Okay.
Vizag,
And-
Visakhapatnam.
Thank you,
So
Prabhuji. Hare
anybody
Krishna.
is ready to join, please come. Let's attend the marriage. Mataji will be happy.
Share us the pictures, Prabhuji.
You'll have online marriage. Sure. Sure. Okay. We'll see you tomorrow. Hare Krishna.
Hare
Yeah, Prabhuji.
Krishna.
Tomorrow,
Thank you.
sorry, Monday.
Hare Krishna.